Jon Jones is a coward, a selfish guy, and above all, one of the biggest manipulators MMA has ever seen outside the octagon. He may have made history inside the cage, but today, far from fighting, what he does is hold up one of the UFC's most important divisions with mind games, manipulations, and a lack of courage that's becoming impossible to defend. The whole world has realized it. Jon Jones does not want to fight Tom Aspinall, and what was once just suspicion has now become certainty. Jones is running, he's hiding, and he's trying to use his influence to avoid the inevitable. Check out what the fighters themselves are saying about the American, where everyone has run out of patience with Jon Jones's lack of integrity, and also with Dana White's lack of action, who until now has done nothing but hide behind the fake narrative that this fight will eventually happen.
I know he has to get that win, but do you think Tom Aspinall's the guy to beat Jon Jones?
For sure. John's scared of him. He's ducking him, man. He don't want to fight That's why he's like, oh, I'll vacate the title. I'll fight the number 10 guy. Fucking scared. Why do people think Jon Jones is a GOAT? He literally destroyed his legacy by ducking Tom Aspinall. The guy's a fucking coward, and he's a woman beater. He beat his Jon Jones.
Jon has some fruity tendencies. I think the media needs to look into like some of the fruity things that he does. It's very strange. Dude, Jon Jones is an absolute fucking disgrace to this earth. He's a fucking joke. I mean, yeah, you beat Stipe. Stipe, respect to Stipe first off, because he's a first responder and you know, he puts his life on the line for the people and for his community. So shout out to Stipe. He's, you know, the greatest heavyweight of all time, but he was past his time. He shouldn't even have been there, man. He knows he was old, and I think Jon needs to stop ducking Tom Aspinall, just like he ducked Ngannou. You know, he ducked Ngannou for years. Now he's ducking Aspinall. So he doesn't want to fight the guys he knows he's getting his ass whooped against. So I don't think anything special to Jon Jones. He's a fucking coward. He's a cheat, and he's a woman beater. He needs to stop beating his wife and leaving her bloody in Las Vegas hotel rooms.
When I fought Jon, I was 36 years old. He was 28. Then we fought again, and I was 38. And he was 30. Right? When he fought Stipe, even now he's 37. Stipe's 41. All those guys were older guys, right? Jon now is a 38-year-old man looking at a 30-year-old man that's bigger, that's younger, that's fresher, and going, it's flipped. I don't see the wear and tear on their face anymore. On his face, I see the wear and tear on mine, right? He saw with Stipe, right? Stipe looks older. He looks like, you know, he just looked older from all that time away. Now he's looking down at a young man, and it's like, he's not scared. Make no mistake about it. But I think it's enough to like question it. And you know what I think a big worry might be for him? Because with Aspinall, he could potentially get knocked out. Like legitimately knocked out and put on his back and out cold. And I just don't know that he wants to have that visual of him in the world.
But when I went into Jon's locker room, he's, you know, bouncing around, he's having a good time. And he said, I got a question for you. I said, yeah, what's your question? And he says, I need somebody. And there's an individual there, and that individual was a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and was working for the commission. And he says, is someone getting on the ground for me, right? And so this guy, being a ground guy and being someone that was, man, I'm in Jon Jones's locker room. This is great. And so he says, oh, I'll do it for you. He says, you know, I know how to roll. And so he goes down. He says, just put me in guard, right? And then Jon decides to do a sexual act with him, saying, what if I do this, right? This isn't illegal, right? And the guy who was on the ground, quickly his eyes went, as big as they could get. Like, what are you doing? And I said, Jon, knock it off, right? And I helped the person up, and he goes, I'm just joking. And he goes, but really, what could you do? I said, I could disqualify you for being unsportsmanlike. Go ahead and do it. Let's see what happens.
I'm not here to run the risk of someone making a name off of me. Shogun had to fight Jon Jones back in the day. Rampage had to fight Jon Jones back in the day. Those guys were big names that fought him as the young guy that was the champion. And he made a name off of all those legends. So that by the time I got to him, he was a legend. He was a legend. Already in 2016, 15, he was already a legend in 5 years. But that was only because he had beaten all those great guys before. It really is the tale of sport, right? The tale of entertainment. Before Michael Jordan could become Michael Jordan, he had to go through the Detroit Pistons, who were winning in the 80s. He had to beat the Boston Celtics to get to the finals, who were going back and forth with the Lakers.
And it's not just them. Take a look at other big names who've taken shots at Jon Jones. And while Jones runs from reality, the UFC heavyweight division is going through one of the most embarrassing moments in its history. The division is literally stuck. Frozen. No movement whatsoever. The contenders are all tied up because nobody knows if the champion will fight, when he will fight, or even if he plans to stay in the sport. And the most outrageous part of all is that the UFC lets this happen like it's normal. Dana White, the big boss of the organization, is another one who deserves criticism. His silence in this whole mess is unacceptable. He's known for being a straight shooter, a guy who gets things done decisively. But when it comes to Jon Jones, Dana looks like a manager who's afraid of his own employee. He doesn't make decisions, doesn't lay down the law, doesn't demand clarity. If this were any other fighter, they would have been stripped of the title for inactivity a long time ago. But with Jones, total silence, total complicity.
Look, he's doing this reality show with Nathan Diaz in Russia, and I'm told that the money is just absurd. It's astronomical. Get paid, well deserved. Both legends of the game. I totally understand it. But here's the part that I very much disagree with him. It's not about you, Jon. It's not about you. It's not about your life. It's not about your story. If you want to enjoy your life, if you want to be a part of a reality show, if you want to take that money and delay things and hold someone else's dreams back from becoming a reality, that is ducking. That is ducking, because there is a time-honored tradition in this business, in the sport, in combat sports, in fight sports, in sports period, that the whole thing has to move along. It's not about your story. Your story is great and you're living your best life, great. Get rid of that belt. If you want to do that, great. No one will begrudge you. Everyone thinks you've done enough. You've earned enough. You've proven enough. Now allow someone else to have that same story. Allow someone else to write that same story. You are holding him back. You are holding back not only Tom Aspinall, but the rest of the division. So yes, you're missing the point. This isn't about you. It's about the belt. How many more times does Tom has to say he would love to fight him? He would love to be he would love to have the opportunity to be that guy. He would love it. Who wouldn't? But he just wants that belt. He wants whatever that belt signifies, whatever it symbolizes, and what it brings. It brings all the things that Jon Jones is enjoying right now, because if Jon Jones wasn't the most decorated champion, wasn't the greatest light heavyweight champion, wasn't the 2-division champion, he wouldn't be doing things like this. He wouldn't get opportunities like this. He wouldn't get the opportunity to live his best life. It is ducking at this point. You are ducking. You're ducking the opportunity. You're taking that opportunity away from someone else. You are robbing someone else of the same opportunity and the same dream that you have already realized and lived. That is selfish.
So here we are with a situation where Jon Jones didn't fight for 3 years because he wanted to build his body to go up to heavyweight. Takes out Cyril Gane. That was a very favorably stylistic matchup. Fights once, has a year off, gets injured, has another year, and then has another year off, and potentially might not even fight. So the question was at the start of this video, should Jon Jones be stripped? I would say there needs to be a deadline put on this. And if they don't make an announcement by International Fight Week, put up, shut up, defend, vacate, stripped or not be stripped. If he doesn't accept the fight, you gotta strip him. Jon Jones is an incredible fighter and he's had a legendary career, but if he wants to float around Thailand, living his best life, stuffing his face, not getting fat, drinking booze, riding motorbikes, sniffing hair, whatever he wants to fucking do it, enjoy it. No one will care, okay? But you've got to do the right thing when it comes to the fight community, when it comes to Tom Aspinall, but more importantly, when it comes to the obligation of being the champion of the world. Anyway, what do you think about that stuff, what I just said?
The MMA community has had enough. Fans, journalists, and even legendary former fighters can't take this clown show anymore. Every new interview comes with a new excuse. Every new post on social media is just another distraction or a joke about the whole situation. Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall, the interim heavyweight champion, or better yet, the real champion, keeps waiting for his golden opportunity, being ignored by a fake champion who doesn't even defend his belt and who's still protected by the UFC as if he were untouchable. The truth is harsh. Jon Jones does not want this fight. He knows the risk of facing someone like Tom Aspinall. He knows the Brit is fast, strong, technical, and complete. He knows this is no longer the division of fat guys out of shape, as Michael Bisping sarcastically put it. And he knows that if he steps into the octagon with Aspinall, everything he's built could crumble in the blink of an eye.
Is Jon Jones scared to fight you?
Yes. John is conning the public. The fact that he didn't want to fight Ngannou for 3 years and now he's not wanting to fight me for over a year.
Is that fight fucking happening?
The UFC are saying that it's going to happen. I think it's down to him and Dana.
Dana loves Jon Jones.
He's trying to grease up his ego a little bit. I think he's one of the best fighters ever. Definitely top 3. That's debatable when you start putting in about drug tests and stuff like that, I think.
Damn. What drug are you talking about specifically?
Yeah.
I saw an interview where it said you and John are aligned and you guys have decided together to allow for the UFC to tell you what you're doing. Is that true?
No, man, John's retired. What are you talking about, guys?
What do you mean?
John, you guys don't follow John on social media?
I don't follow him on social media. He said that.
No, me too, actually. Me too, but the guy is living his best life. He's had a fantastic career, we all know. We know John's a religious man, so I want to say God bless him moving forward in what he does with his life and his career. And you know, we move on. We move on. I'm the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I'm ready to take on all comers, get this division moving again. Us guys have been waiting around too long. You know, the contenders are getting sick of it. Everybody's getting sick of it. Even the fans are getting sick of this stuff. So John's retired and it's time that we move on.
And the craziest part of all? Jon Jones is living his best life in Thailand, teaching seminars, promoting events, and laughing in the fans' faces. Instead of training to defend his title, he's posting pictures of himself eating exotic dishes, riding motorcycles drunk, and mocking anyone asking for answers. Jon Jones is out here enjoying life while throwing lines at the fans like, "Do I really look like the type of guy who cares about that? Your desperation just keeps making me richer." It's a blatant slap in the face to the fans, to the people who love the sport, and especially to the fighters who are out there waiting for their shot. And the worst part is, it works. The UFC seems hypnotized by Jones, and the organization refuses to take a stand. But times have changed. Social media now gives the public a voice, and the pressure for a clear answer is growing fast. The heavyweight division, which should be booming with names like Aspinall, Sergey Pavlovich, Jailton Almeida, and Cyril Gane, is stuck in time. And it's all because the man holding the belt would rather pretend he's retired while waiting for a super fight that brings him millions, preferably against someone less dangerous. Jon Jones is becoming a joke. From great champion to cowardly villain, from sports icon to symbol of everything that's frustrating about modern MMA. And the fans are done. There's no more blind respect. What exists now is pressure, demands for fairness. Because while Jon Jones enjoys his life, the sport stops. Fans walk away, fighters lose time and money, and the UFC loses credibility. At the end of this shameful saga, only one question remains. How long is the UFC going to bow down to a man who clearly doesn't want to fight? Tom Aspinall is ready. The fans are ready. The entire MMA world is ready. Only one man is missing the courage. But that man, unfortunately, would rather hide. And that's why today, Jon Jones is more villain than legend. And the world is tired of waiting, but now it's your turn. Do you think Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall will eventually face each other? Or do you believe this fight is never going to happen? Drop your opinion in the comments so we can chat. If you truly love MMA and enjoy keeping up with everything happening in the fight world, then you should definitely check out these 2 other videos popping up on your screen. Both are extremely important, and I'm absolutely sure you'll enjoy them and stay well informed about the latest fight news. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button to help with the algorithm. And I'll see you in the next one.